In this video, we are going to see the making and diagnosis of a small airplane suitable for kids pilots. This is not another video showing the easy making of an airplane. Instead, we will see the making of the plane followed by tests and diagnosis which suggested improvement ideas and actions to make the plane robust. Very important notes on how to fly this airplane are found at the end of this video. I'm using a foam glider as basis, and the electronics is salvaged out of an old quadcopter. Only 2 motors will be used, and I ended up using the rear ones. The electronics along with the battery are placed horizontally in the cockpit, and the motors are hanged under the front end of the wing. I used the front motors of the quadcopter at the beginning. The airplane flew well, but its control was hard. The plane reacts slowly for the right joystick commands. On the other hand, the left joystick has severe effect on the plane. Other problems include the motors popping up on impact, the propellers slipping off the motor shafts, and the presence of a gyroscope in the electronics. Motors are then held firmly on the trailing edge of the wing, and the propellers are used in the pusher configuration. Motors are mounted with an angle to the wing to direct the thrust upwards. This will help in raising the plane nose with applied thrust. Because both motors turn in the same direction, the total inertia tends to turn the plane in the same direction. This was solved by redistributing the weight and shifting the center of gravity to the other direction. Because the electronics is taken from a quadcopter, motors should be planted carefully in order to enforce the effect of the gyroscope. The electronics is also placed with its rear end inclined to the front of the airplane. This will ensure that the gyroscope will contribute in more thrust as it is trying to recover the horizontal position of the old quadcopter. Tests were good and the control is acceptable, but the airplane stalls easily in the air. The center of gravity is too aft. We need to bring it forward. This is done by placing a weight in the cockpit. Tests were good, but I need to practice more. Here, for example, the airplane flew very well, but it slipped behind the house and crashed in the field. My 4-year-old son, a flying enthusiast, was the first to make a closed turn. Well, we missed it on the cam, but let's repeat it. Good spirit, with no success. My 11-year-old niece tried her best. Not bad for the first time. My little girl, 8 years old, sets a record in flight time among the kids. The airplane is very sensitive to blowing air, and it is perfect for kids starters. They can crush it repeatedly and it returns to fly. Do not try to overcome wind gusts. Use them to turn. Bigger propellers are also needed. To take off, increase the thrust to the maximum and throw the plane horizontally. To turn, decrease the thrust to the middle and apply the turn using the roll joystick. If the plane starts to roll down, move the roll joystick to the other direction in order to maintain the stability of the plane. Next, increase the thrust to gain altitude.